President Trump in 2020? We'll hear from the Horry County chair of the Democratic Party. Plus, we'll tell you about something called a pastor scam and the wedding bell blues. Carolina This Week starts right now.
This is Carolina This Week. Carolina This Week with Trey Paul.
Good morning, everyone. We've got Horry County Chair Don Kohn here with us this morning, chair of the Horry County Democratic Party. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me, Trey.
All right, so we're going to get to some of your viewer questions here in a moment, but first I want to start with a quote from presidential candidate Joe Biden, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. He said this week, I plan, and if I'm your nominee, winning Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, believe it or not. Do you believe it or not?
I believe it. It's going to be tough, but it's doable. And the way it's doable is to register voters, educate them on what the Democratic Party is really about, and then get them out to vote.
Do you think that there is a presidential candidate who could beat President Trump? That was our question of the day one day this past week. Is there a Democratic presidential candidate who can beat President Trump in 2020?
Okay, well, the party does not endorse any particular candidate, and the reason is because we want the voters to make that determination on their own. However, I watch the same news that everybody else does, and it's clear that right now there are several candidates that are ahead in the polls. Now it's early, and they've got to keep up that momentum.
So your answer is yes, you think there is a candidate who could beat Trump?
Sure.
Let me ask you this. You know, once the presidential candidates, they start campaigning here in South Carolina, what issues would you like for them to address while here?
Okay, I'd like them to, first of all, address equality, whether it's African Americans, Latinos, LGBT. We should all have rights, and everybody should be treated equally and fairly. Education, big deal. The recent problems that teachers have had with their pay, with their class sizes, it affects education. Education affects people's abilities to get jobs. Jobs are important. We're close to the best employment rates, but people are not getting paid what they've been paid in the past, and many people have to get two jobs, and many of those jobs are without benefits. So we need better paying jobs and jobs with benefits.
Now, are you seeing any of the candidates touching on this ahead of the some of the debates? Because the first debate has been set. Are you seeing any of this addressed so far?
I am.
Okay. Let me get to a couple of the viewer questions. One question from Bernie Judy Dunn on Facebook. Is the Democratic Party now becoming a socialist party and losing all conservative values?
Okay. Well, the Democratic Party, first of all, is a Big Tent party, so we have a lot of different views, and we listen to everybody. What I would say about that is we're true to our values. So our values involve equality for all people. It involves fiscal responsibility. The debt and the deficit are highest we've ever seen in this country. And Social Security and Medicare for everybody. They're not entitlements as people like Lindsey Graham would have you believe. Those are benefits that we have all paid into and we have a right to. Healthcare and education.
Okay. How would you describe the Democratic Party in Horry County in 2019?
We're working to make a difference in this county. There are way too many people that don't exercise their right to vote, and we've got to get them interested. We've got to let them understand that there are issues that impact every one of those people.
And you've got it's something called Take a Stand, right?
Yes, Take a Stand is our slogan, and it'll help us with our branding. It'll be used with everything that we're trying to get out, including education, the economy, women's rights, the environment.
Gotcha. I want to get to another viewer question. Angie Mumford on Facebook. How does the chair feel about the drastic stance on abortion that the Democratic Party has taken?
Okay. First thing I think we should all be agreeing to is prevention. So that is can be handled in two ways: birth control and sex education for both boys and girls. And by doing that, we could drastically reduce the number of potential abortions. I think that the one of the problems that we have, and why we also need to talk about prevention, is because of the high number of teenage pregnancies in this state. This state is one of the highest in the country, and we should be doing something about that, and prevention is the way to do it. In addition to that, infant mortality. Why isn't infant mortality treated as a major problem? Again, we rate as one of the worst states for infant mortality. We should be doing something about that. The Democratic Party is pro-women. If a woman decides to have her child, we're all for it. If she decides not to, that's a decision she needs to make in that time, based on the fact that the law is there. Keep in mind that an abortion restrictive law is not going to end abortions. Abortions existed before Roe v. Wade. They were just unsafe. And males need to be part of the solution to this. We can't just put this all on women. The consequences of having a woman have to have a child, first of all, it's unconscionable that the government would cause any person to have to make a decision about their body, especially it being a conservative position that government should not be in charge. Small government conservatism is something I've heard about all my life. And here is a perfect case of where conservatives are bringing the full weight of government into a decision that should be made by an individual.
You know, we've seen the ban rallies all around the country. How do you think that is going to shape the election in 2020?
I think this is one of many decisions, and women are waking up to the fact that they need to defend their lives, and we need to help support them.
Okay, before we go, I want to talk about the second annual Senator Dick Elliott golf outing. For those who aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about this golf outing and how it came about.
Okay, well, Senator Dick Elliott served for over 30 years, both in the South Carolina House and the South Carolina Senate. He worked for his constituents. He was respected on both sides of the aisle by both Republicans and Democrats, although he was a Democrat. He was involved with getting things like the Coastal Carolina University off the ground. So anyway, he is the main person and the thought behind this golf outing. The golf outing is at Legends. It's June 29th. We have a hole-in-one. We have actually 5 hole-in-one competitions. One of them will be to get either a Corvette or an Escalade, and that is provided by Myrtle Beach Chevrolet and Cadillac. And all of these hole-in-ones that we're going to have are supported by Anderson Insurance. I would be remiss if I didn't also mention that one of our hole-in-ones is going to be for one person to shoot a hole-in-one on the 18th hole for $1 million.
$1 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and this costs $60 per person. We still have some positions available, and get in touch with the Horry County Democratic Office at 843-488-4237.
all right. Don Kohn, we appreciate you stopping by this morning. Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.